I was like, that was like literally 5 minutes for that guy.
Yeah.
And like, this is what we paid like 12.5 grand for. Maybe I'm too poor, right? That's not enough for me. This is where I got kind of like, bruh. Layla and Alex always preach about how product is so important, how like Layla always sits into every single product meeting, you know, Steve Jobs did. And I just don't believe that Layla sat in on this product meeting and said, wow, like, this is the shit. It's not about what you put in, it's about what you get out.
So if you were to rate it from a scale of 1 to 10, how worth it was Alex Hormozi's $30,000 consultation?
I think I would give it a, like...
Welcome back to my channel where I help business owners and professionals grow their personal brand on YouTube. And today I have a very special video, a bit different than what we normally do. I've got my friend and business partner here, Sheldon, and we're going to be talking about everything we learned from paying Alex Hormozi $30,000 for business advice, so you can see if it's worth it for yourself. So if you guys didn't know, Sheldon and I have been business partners and friends for a long time, and we've been working on Cantomando, which has grown to a over 1 million subscriber YouTube channel now. And from that, we've built all of our other businesses, including the one that you've been working on for so long called the Cantomando Blueprint. So why don't you tell us a bit about that and what led you to attend Alex Hormozi's event?
Yeah, so we, as Edward said, like we both run Cantomando together. Like it's been a long time baby. And through that, my passion was always in languages and sharing Chinese language and culture. And so I built the Cantomando Blueprint, which is basically our program that helps Cantonese speakers, like diaspora like me or you, basically improve their Cantonese while learning Mandarin so they get closer with their culture, with their heritage, and gain more opportunities. So we've helped over 600 people, and you know, the goal is to help as many Cantonese diaspora as they can connect closer with their culture.
Right. So how did this business get to Alex Hormozi level? I'm going to attend his event, pay $30,000. Like, how did that happen?
So the program started off on the only at the Cantomando channel, and we were like, oh, let's launch basically an education program to help people. And when we launched it, it actually was quite a bit of a success at that time. But eventually, like, I mean, not everyone in the Cantomando fan base is specifically a Cantonese speaker who wants to learn Mandarin.
Yeah.
And so I started a separate YouTube channel specifically to, you know, gain more of a community of people around who want to do that. Like I remember when we first launched, like I want to say this, like, just because you're a good YouTuber doesn't mean you're a good marketer.
Agreed, yeah.
And so we had, like, at the time we had zero marketing experience. We only knew how to make videos. And so we just, like, I didn't even, like, give a preview to it. I just said it. Oh, by the way, guys, I made this thing. If you guys want it, here, right? And then, like, I remember I was amazed. I was like, yo, we sold, like, a pretty good amount from the get-go.
Yeah, I remember that, yeah. It was...
And I was like, yo, that's crazy.
It was, like, first hour, I think we sold, like, $10,000 worth of...
Yeah. Oh, yeah, and I was like, wow, like, people are actually joining the program. And I was like, that's I've never seen that before.
Yeah. And honestly, like back then we had no idea how to use YouTube for business either.
Yeah. It was
just put it in one of our activity.
Yeah. I know it was crazy because it was like, if we had not had the YouTube and we were like running paid as a start, like you might have blown through $10,000 just to even get your first sale. The paid ads, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
You might have, like, we had a shitty page. We still have a scammy page, but I'll tell you why a scammy page in a bit.
No, it's a scammy looks. It's not actually
scammy looks. Not scammy.
Yeah,
it's a scammy looks.
Looks scammy, but it's not scammy.
It looks scammy. It's not scammy. It's work in progress.
Yeah. I remember that. So it's a pretty good start, I would say, from the beginning. From I remember, back in the days, 2021, that was.
Like, what happened that brought me to the Hormozi event was I'm always looking to learn more. And for me, I always believe in investing in your education.
Right.
Is the biggest thing. And for me, like, Alex Hormozi has brought me so much education over the past 2 years. I don't know how long he's been famous for.
We've been watching Alex Hormozi.
I don't know how long I've been in Mozi Nation, but I've been in Mozi Nation for quite a while. And he's brought me a lot of value. And so when he listed the event out, I was like, okay, you know what? Like, I think this could give me that edge. I think this could really help me out. So I just dropped the money in and went for it.
What were you looking for specifically from that conference?
I think I was looking for specifically just kind of clarity and direction about how to continue to make my business do better. And, you know, how I can help more people and have better impacts.
So you walk in, do you like get a chance to talk to Alex Hormozi himself?
So you actually only see Alex at the end of the day.
Like do you get
personal time? At the end of the second day, actually. You don't get personal time with him.
So you see him for like 5 minutes on stage.
You see him for 30 minutes on stage.
So he's talking to you.
Yeah, at the end of the scaling workshop, they have an Alex Q&A and a Layla Q&A.
I see.
And so it's like a 30-minute Q&A. But the rest of the time is like their team that you talk to, not Alex or Layla.
So what were some major takeaways that you got from the very first conference?
Yeah, so it was basically how to build enterprise value.
Mm-hmm.
Very general, like how to hire people, how to sell,
Right.
like the little tips to help you identify what your constraint is, and just like reflections.
Mm-hmm.
And then it was like their story, and then it was like they also shared the impacts of Alex's personal brand on everything.
I mean, that's what got you guys all there, right?
Yeah, it's like literally like they shared how like literally Alex's time now is like almost not 100%, but like unless it's like a critical task where like he needs to like consult for something, it's like he spends most of his time filming content, because like according to them there is no bigger leverage than content for them.
Right. And leverage being what do you mean by leverage specifically in that case?
What that means is like if Alex, let's say Alex has 20 minutes, like an hour of effort, right?
Yeah.
In that hour of effort, there is no better thing for him to do than to film a video on YouTube.
It's because it can reach the most amount of people, I'm assuming? Like
It can reach a lot of people. It can have the most impact to influence people's buying decisions. It can have the most impact to grow the brand. And so that is like what they are focused on.
I see.
Yeah.
Yeah. But I mean, you had that content going already, right? You had the content machine because you come from like a background of being a YouTuber, and you made that separate channel as well, right?
I actually started off being like, oh, suddenly I just switched. I'm like, oh, because I'm doing this like specifically helping Cantonese speakers learn Mandarin thing, and it's like such a niche audience. Yeah. I actually put my marbles into shorts for a bit.
Right.
And then actually what I found was that it actually didn't convert that well, even though it got a lot of views.
Yeah.
I think it's because like if I consider it like someone watches you on a short, you have to watch you for like, assuming each short's like 30 seconds.
Mm-hmm.
If they watch you for 10 shorts, they still only spent like 5 minutes with you. Whereas if they watch one YouTube video, well, they've spent at least 20 minutes with you.
That's true.
And so it's a lot more of an intimate relationship for you to actually help them.
Like a much deeper relationship if they see you longer, right? So
exactly.
It's not necessarily about views, it's about how long they see you in that case.
It's about how long it's about kind of like how long they see you and how long they can actually, it takes them to realize that you can actually provide value. Because in a short, it's like, the truth is like you have to optimize for the short algorithm as well. Yeah. So you're not going to put that much value into a short.
Right.
And so when you really think about it, whereas a long form video is that you can actually squeeze a lot of value in there.
I see.
And so it's different. But this one was $5,000. And so I went there, and it was very focused on the idea of how to build enterprise value for your business.
Okay.
Meaning like most CEOs, we think of our businesses as like day to day, but the focus there is to teach you how to think like an investor for your business. Think like an investor to build enterprise value. Okay. Because when you build a business that is a business that you want to sell, whether you want to keep it or not, you'll actually most of the times make the best decisions for your business.
Okay, so how did you apply that for your own business?
It was ultimately like, I think a very good thing was just realizing like, it's like as a CEO, what it is you have a lot of problems or a lot of opportunity, but you have limited resources.
Okay.
Right?
Yeah.
And so it's about thinking about, oftentimes, a lot of entrepreneurs spend a lot of time solving the right problem the wrong way, or the wrong problem the right way. And what you want to do is you want to solve the right problem the right way.
Okay.
And so the whole conference of the $5,000 skill workshop was about, for you as an entrepreneur, identifying like what are the actual constraints that's actually holding you from like scaling your business.
Okay.
So there might be like a million like stupid little fires around the area, but there's one like giant wildfire that's holding your business back.
Right.
And so it's about like really zoning in and thinking like, what is that thing that's holding you back?
So let me get this straight. So you spend $5,000 to go to an event, and they tell you enterprise value, and they don't give you anything specific for your business, but you still manage to spend another $25,000 after.
So this is crazy. This is crazy.
On the second conference.
So then this will happen. So Alex comes on stage in the end. He does a Q&A, and it's cool. Like also like he's a little fanboy, right? Like Alex Hormozi, right? And so he answers questions. I think I asked Layla like 2 questions and Alex 2 questions, which it might sound like little, but it's a lot.
That's a lot.
That's a lot. Like everyone's trying to ask questions. I was like, last question. And I was kind of shivering when I asked them question too. Like I'm a big fan. But so at the end of Alex's thing, he's like, I'm gonna give you guys a little bonus thing.
Okay.
And like he did like the most amazing like teaching us about this like how to basically like close and sell while also closing and selling us.
Close sell inception.
Yeah, and like, and how, and he was like, how to form the perfect offer, how to cut a close properly, while closing us all on the 25K all at once, the entire room all at once. I can't like, there's a lot of people in that room,
Right.
and like pretty much everyone was like, all right, I'm gonna 25K offer.
Nice.
It was like he mixed so many aspects of just like business mastery and their like scarcity, like social proof. Like you see everyone doing it, and you're like, oh shit, I don't want to be the one guy that isn't doing it, right?
Yeah. It's like if you don't do this, you're not actually serious about like you feel like that way, right?
Well, he didn't say that,
Yeah.
right? But it's not except that. But it's just like I see other people, and I'm like, oh, and it's like it's also like so. This is where personal brand is so important because it's Alex Hormozi.
Yeah.
Like he's literally the guy who he's given everything away online. That's so helpful. That's like literally helped me so much.
Yeah, he's built that goodwill with his videos
for free. Like it's all there. And so I'm just like, yo, dude, like it's what he always says. He's like, if the free stuff is this good, how good is the paid stuff, right? And so oh, sorry, go on.
No, so based on that logic, you sign up for the next one.
Yeah, and so the whole idea of the next one was it's what they call the VAM. So it's called the value acceleration method.
Yeah, and that's how when was that? Was like 6 months later, you said?
That was when I went to last week.
So 6 months after.
Yeah. Well, it was only 6 months after because I was going to Asia. So you pick your VAM date.
I see.
You pick your VAM date.
Got it.
And so it's $25,000. It's actually, it's so good. It's so good. They have the price too. It was $15,000 and it was $25,000 and now it's $45,000.
$45,000.
Yeah.
So guys, the value of this is actually $50,000, not $30,000.
Yeah. It's actually $45,000 now.
So VAM comes along, $25,000 dropped to go back to Vegas for the second Alex Hormozi conference. What kind of amazing stuff did you learn from that one?
So I'll give you a bit of preface before that. So prior to the VAM, I actually started doing some affiliate marketing.
Right.
Okay, like meaning I had other people help promote my product, right?
So what does that mean? Is it like other people are making videos for you?
Exactly.
Other people are making content for you to start.
Other people are making content to help promote the Canada Metal Blueprint.
Understood. Right? Okay. So you're making content plus you're getting other influencers to make content for you.
Correct.
Okay.
Correct. That's basically what affiliate is.
Right.
So I actually started that earlier this year, and then what happened was. So prior to the conference, what they do, and that was actually pretty good. It actually led to like pretty good results. Right. So prior to the conference, what they do is they kind of look at your numbers, they look at your like all your values and stuff, and they say like the whole goal is for them to identify like the three like they said identify what your constraints are, and so identify like what are the things that you need to do to give you the biggest lift.
Right.
So like the whole thing is like. Simple scale, fancy fails, right?
Okay.
So it's like, what are the simple steps you need to take so that you can give yourself the biggest lift? Right. And so when I had my VAM call, which was like a week prior to the VAM, he basically looked at it. He was like, hey, Sheldon, you have these 3 affiliates. They're basically bringing in this much. It's actually huge because that gives you a lot of leverage because then like you already have the personal brand going, you already have all this, but what this does is it gets your message out to everyone. And the problem with your thing is that it's so limited in scope because it says like Cantonese speakers who want to learn Mandarin, and so having more people help you get the message out would be so much more helpful. So he was like, hey, I think we should zone in on that. And he was like, if you came to the VAM next week and all we did was focusing on that, would that be helpful for you? And I was like, yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
Right.
Okay. So you go to the VAM. The week now.
Wait. So let me clarify. So I want to clarify what happened. So basically, in my head, I was like, okay, cool. We're gonna focus on affiliates at the VAM. So what I'm gonna do prior to the VAM is I'm part of the VAM. I was like, okay, cool. So I'm gonna identify that I need to improve my affiliates and get more affiliates. So I just spent the whole week just getting more affiliates. I spent the whole week basically trying to improve the conversion of my funnel. I was like, if you got more affiliates, well then I gotta have a better funnel conversion. And then that's basically what I focused on, right? So then all that led to my VAM. Before I get into everything, I want to preface this by saying, like, they're on like V1 and V2 of the VAM.
I don't know what does that even mean?
What I mean by that is like, I'm not going to say amazing things. I'm going to be real.
Okay.
So, but I want to preface this like, I like really like the team. They're like really, like they're really knowledgeable. They're really helpful. But like, so they're on V1, V2, and I talked to them, but give them all my feedback afterwards. So, maybe by the time you might want to go, maybe they're on like V8, and V8 might be a lot better.
That's like a version 8?
Yeah, version 8.
Got it.
You know what I mean? So that's what I mean. So I get there. And so in my head, like the whole thing last time in the first conference was hyper focus on fixing the right problems with the right solution, right?
Yeah.
And so in my mind, what I thought it'd be was like, I thought we'd come in. I knew I wasn't going to see Hormozi or Layla.
Yeah.
Like I knew that wasn't a thing. But actually what's interesting is I don't know if you see their new cash cow episodes on YouTube where they like help people scale their business.
Mm-hmm.
They actually pick people from the VAM to go into there.
Oh,
so
nice.
I was like low key praying I'd be picked.
Yeah.
But I was like, they're not going to pick up helping Cantonese speakers learn Mandarin business.
This is a little bit too niche. Yeah.
Like they probably want to help like the business that most people have,
Right.
so they can grow everything. But anyway, so I didn't get picked. Naturally.
Okay.
One of the guys I met there did though. But anyway, so I thought that we would be like both days hyper focusing on like my problems or everyone's problems. You know,
Right. Like specifically targeted,
like, okay, hey, we're gonna tackle this and we're gonna come up with like a clear strategy together. We're gonna like kind of make sure everything's good, right? And I get there, and the first day is it's two-day thing. So the first day is just like presentations. It's just like presentations about like they're like, here is our newest meta ad findings of the past quarter. Here's our newest like here's like some motivation quotes about like landing on the moon, for example, about how like most businesses like they stay like this for a long time, then suddenly everything goes up.
Yeah.
What couple changes, right?
Right.
So they give the moon mission as an example, right?
Okay.
There's like shit, and then suddenly all of a sudden they blew up, right? They gave Alex Hormozi's closer framework for sales and shared that with us.
Okay, so but anything specific that we learned?
Yeah, let me set the stage for what the conference was.
Okay.
It was just general things, and especially because of the fact that they're like, hey, it's all about focus, and they're like giving me things that I'm like, I know my focus isn't meta ads, and you told me that on our call beforehand, so why are you telling me about meta ads and the closer framework for sales when those are not my constraints?
Correct.
You know what I mean?
Yes. Yeah. Based off what they told you, then yeah, it makes sense.
Exactly. I was like, why is that the first day?
Right now, you still don't know your constraint.
Well,
so,
no, I do for my band call.
Oh, for van call.
My BAM call. But like what I was excited for was like, oh, like let's dig into specific strategies. Let's look into specific things about Sheldon's thing. Right?
Okay.
So like, okay, cool. That's the first day. Guys, get ready for tomorrow. Tomorrow's gonna be crazy, jam-packed with like so much stuff for you guys.
Right.
And you're gonna learn a lot. I was like, cool, I'm excited for day 2. Day 2 comes. And the way it's structured is everyone gets a little name tag, right? And they're in groups, right? But we're not grouped by our constraint. Meaning, like, if someone's constraint's marketing, it's not like all marketing people together.
Mm.
It's like I'm just grouped with a bunch of random people with different constraints.
Right.
And so we take turns at different tables where the guy here focuses on the constraint of 2 people. So let's say over here is like, Jimmy and Alex Carter's constraint, right? They'll talk to them, and then you sit there listening to them talk to them.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah. So it's like completely unrelated.
It's completely unrelated to you, and in their mind, they're saying like, oh, you guys should learn from it. But in my head, I'm like, what? Why would you tell me to learn from this if you tell me I should hyper focus on 2 things?
Right.
Like this is just gonna make me be like, ooh, like let's say someone talking about, ooh, maybe I should meta ads, right?
Yeah. It makes sense.
So it just like it didn't make much sense to me why like I was in that group. So and that was basically most of the day. Like and the spotlight sessions you have where like they actually spotlight you and like they focus on you, it's like 5 minutes.
Okay.
So the first guy who went that I saw my spotlight, they were like, okay, for his name, they're like, here are your 3 constraints. It's one is you need to do a time study to figure out better allocate like where your time goes.
Okay.
2 is you need to like make a better lead magnet. And 3 is you need to increase your like conversion on your landing page, something like that.
Okay. Sounds quite vague, but yeah.
Oh no. 3 was make more content, build your personal brand.
Okay.
So it was do a time study, build a better lead magnet, so like a better like free thing to give out.
Yeah.
So people like you and they feel like what you have. If your free stuff's good, your paid stuff's good, right?
Right.
And then 3 was build a personal brand and start posting more content.
Right.
That was it.
And did they teach him any of these things? How to like build a personal brand? How to like when you say make more content? It's not as easy. Like we come from a YouTube background. It's not as easy as like just being like, okay, I'm just gonna make content. Like you have to know specifics about like, I think of the right title, I think of the right topic, how to the thumbnail or everything. So
that's the thing about it. So the person who was giving this to him and telling him this feedback was the cold email expert. And in my head, I'm like, why is the cold email expert delivering this information? Right. And the slides that had the guy's thing, it was just like, do a time study. Okay, here's like our generic slides. It's just generic slides. Like, because I saw because next time study I had the same slides.
Yeah.
Generic slides on time study, generic slides on how to build content.
Right.
Like you could probably find more helpful stuff on YouTube than you can in these slides. Like it's not like these slides are anything like revolutionary. Right. And then that was the first guy. Then second guy on my table, they told him like, okay, you need to zone in on YouTube. You need to zone in on YouTube, like a lead magnet and something else. I forgot the third one.
Right.
And then the guy's like, and then they got a question about YouTube. And then he's like a 60-year-old engineer, which like
60-year-old
engineer. Well, he might have been like 40. Okay.
You know, well, regardless, if you're 60 or 40, like you're
like the guy's never touched YouTube in his life. Like made a video.
Understood. Yes.
And it was like the slides like this. It was like, look at what the top YouTubers are doing, like Mr. Beast, Ryan Trahan, those people, and learn from them. Look up videos on how to make proper thumbnails. Focus on thumbnails. It's very important. Focus on their titles, and that's most of the work. That's it.
Wait, what business does he have?
He has a engineering, like an engineering firm. They do like they do like battery optimization for buildings. Like they basically help like the LG battery factory, for example, like build the whole thing.
It's a little like, coming from a YouTube background, it's a little bit unrelated. Those two things, like how you reach a entertainment mass, is quite different than how you get clients from YouTube. I'm saying that what Mr. Beast does, you can take things, but if you don't teach them how to cater and modify it to that person's specific business and the brand they're trying to build, he's gonna get off track. Agreed. Yeah, agreed. Yeah. So I was looking at it, and then I was like, "Can you ready? This guy's gonna be making like 10,000 batteries versus one battery."
Yeah. So like in my head, I was like, bro, because I talked to him afterwards, because like he actually left because it's like the cold email guy presenting, and he had a YouTube question, and the guy was like, honestly, like just watch like look at Mr. Beast, look at what they're doing. Look at like Ryan Trahan, look what they're doing. These guys are the top YouTubers. Like just like follow them and look at how to make a thumbnail better. Like the guy didn't know YouTube. Like he did not know YouTube.
Yeah.
And then I was like, dude, like I left. I talked because then afterwards they were like, oh, talk to a friend and like talk to you about your problems. So I got paired with this guy, and I was like, yo, like I heard him say like your focus is YouTube. Like I do YouTube. Like I was like, I have some ideas for you that might be helpful. I do think YouTube can be really good for your thing, but you have to go the right way. And I think a lot of people would be interested in hearing like when you set up a site for your engineer batteries. I'm also an engineer. I was like, they might be hearing why you chose to use this type of electricity, this type of battery versus this type of battery. Mm-hmm. But you need to frame it the right way for YouTube to optimize it. Because like we know, like if someone doesn't know YouTube properly, you could spend like months, years at like the 20, 30 view mark.
Yes. Yeah, that's true.
And with the amount of time investment into YouTube, it's just like, I'm like, there's very little chance this guy's going to be able to figure out on his own on top of managing every single other thing in his business. And so I was like, yo, like, that's all you're going to give him? Like, you're just going to tell him to focus on thumbnail and title? That's the focus? And then say, good luck? I was like, at least like, give him a suggestion for a series.
Yes.
Like, at least give it like, maybe you could do like, how we optimize XYZ, right? How to optimize your battery, like top 10 mistakes you make when building at least give him a series.
Well, I think that like perhaps the person who is giving that advice himself is not an expert in how to give a series. Like he said he's a cold email guy, right?
Yeah, he's a cold email expert.
So perhaps they should have given the content guy and matched him with the content.
But the thing was, so that's what I said in my feedback for the Hormozi team. But their YouTube media content guy wasn't even there. He wasn't even there to talk to anyone.
Yeah, and I know Hormozi always preaches like how the highest leverage thing is YouTube. So I'm sure a lot of people probably got focused on YouTube as their key thing they should focus on. But the fact that he's not there is like, who's gonna teach these guys how to focus on YouTube?
Yeah, there was like there was another guy there. So yeah, that was the first thing. Then there was another guy there. Um, he actually told me he had been to. By the way, I was going to say this. This was V1 or V2 Vam. Like
It just
no, because like
word of a V1 V2 van.
I like them and like I don't want to think, but I have to be straight up front. There was another guy I met. He actually this is actually his second Vam, and he told me he was really frustrated because at his first Vam, they told him to he does like like clothing, like athletic clothing for gun
Holsters and stuff.
like for gun what's a gun
Gun
person
owners?
called, like for gun owners, like basically people who want to carry their gun while wearing like shorts,
Okay.
which is the most American thing you could possibly
Yeah,
do.
it's very.
But anyway, so like he was like, yo, I'm pretty frustrated because the first time he told me to like focus on selling t-shirts, and so I've done that, and nothing's changed, right?
Hmm.
And then I was like, oh, like what's your main like client acquisition channel? He's like, oh, YouTube, right? Then I was like, oh yeah, okay, like cast your YouTube. And like I told the guy this, so I don't think he'd be offended, but like his YouTube was crappy. Like it was not good. And I was like, yo, like they should be telling him that his focus should be on improving his YouTube, not on doing this. So it just made me wonder, like, did they actually look at any of the people's data properly? Because one look at it, I'm like, dude, like I looked at his video for channel, I'm like, dude, this video is like no one's ever backing this guy, man.
Yeah.
I was like, this video, and he said he had 0 sales.
0 sales from YouTube.
Yeah, so I was like,
That's how tough it is.
no one's gonna buy from this guy,
Yeah.
right? And so like I know for a fact that like they have so many experts there,
Mm.
but it felt cheated that they didn't have the experts work with us or help us in any way.
Right.
It's like it felt like they were like hiding them and just giving us the generic slides. Because like I know like I was talking to my coach, like the guy who did my thing afterwards, and he was like, oh, like the Hormozi team is like full on, like nothing's more important than content media right now.
Mm.
Like he was telling me how like Alex, because Alex has also had a classic case of like shiny red object.
Yeah.
And so he told me, it's kind of funny. He said like Alex has a list of like 1,000 ideas, something like that. That like every time he has one, Layla makes him like write it down and just put it away.
Okay.
She makes him write it down and sit there ponder to himself. Would doing this idea be more valuable than me filming more content?
Mm.
And if the answer is no, put the idea away. And according to my guy, he was like, they've like literally shelved like so many ideas because literally every time everyone looks at an idea, it's like, nope. And so like they're all into content. So like I know that they have some crazy media content team.
I mean, that given by his videos and the
Yeah.
brand that he's built on his own YouTube channel,
Yeah.
it's very clear that he knows what he's doing, or at least his team knows what he's doing, right?
And so I felt like it was like when they told that guy like, yeah, just look at Mr. Beast and look at what the top YouTubers are doing. I was like,
It's a very uncatered response to someone who has an individual brand, an individual business that they have to,
yeah. And I was like, yo, when I started YouTube, man, I remember like looking at like, who was top YouTuber when I first started? I don't remember. I remember looking at Logan Paul and I copied him and like literally like nothing. So like I know that just doing that, like he also gave like some like, oh, like watch, so look up like how to make a good thumbnail. And I know that like, yes, it's helpful, but like YouTube's not easy, bro. It is like probably like the reason why everyone doing short is because YouTube is probably the hardest medium to make content on.
I mean, it takes the most effort. Yeah,
It takes more effort, but it has the highest reward and return.
it has the highest reward and return if you can do it right.
Yeah, that's why Alex put it as like he put it as his A+ platform. But I'm like unless like they're like trying to upsell like some like secret like YouTube scaling thing on the or like Zoom YouTube thing on the backside, I'm like, why would they not give this guy more? So
yeah.
I remember after they finished, like basically those two, and then I was like, all right, guys, you guys all move tables. And then I was like, holy crap, like, what are they gonna say to me? I was like, that was like literally 5 minutes for that guy.
Yeah.
And like, this is what we paid like 12.5 grand for.
Right.
Now, to be fair, that guy was like, he's like doing like 15 million a year, and he was like, amazing. So
Interesting.
at the same time, like, maybe I'm too poor, right?
Mm.
Maybe for someone like me, like, those, like, that's not enough for me, right? Maybe it's possible. Cause yeah, the girl, but it was a mixture. Like, some people were like, yo, like, I talked to a lot of people after. Some people were like, oh, it's not enough. Some people were like, that's it. Cause it was generic.
Yeah.
And then, the next table was, again, it was the same thing. I was just listening to them talk to other people with their problems. Those two people. And then later on, we'll see what heard me talk about my problems.
And what were the problems that he like specified for you?
This is where I got kind of like, bruh. Like, the focus for me was literally what we talked about on the van call.
Oh, so
literally.
you actually
So it was literally, because he was like, hey, if you come in and we just focus on like nailing down the affiliate strategy for you, would it be helpful? I'm like, yeah, I would, right?
Yeah.
So like, ask me what I did, like look at maybe like how I'm structuring my structure or something like that, or like get my feedback. But no, it was like, hey Sheldon, okay, so focus on, you have 3 critical tasks. One is affiliates. Okay, here's our playbook. Reach out to 100 affiliates a day. Here's like a sample message you can send. And then the way to search them is just go on Google and search site, and then your keyword. That's it. I'm like, you like, there's not even an understanding of my niche here. Like, my niche is Cantonese speakers who want to learn Mandarin. Okay? So if I search Cantonese, or like I specifically help Cantonese Americans, Chinese Americans, not people from like Hong Kong. So if I search Chinese, I'm gonna get a bunch of Chinese channels that don't reflect my audience.
Right.
At the end of the day, it's like, if I apply their advice and I end up doing really well, then I'm a strong believer of it's not what you put in, it's what you get out. But I just like, given that I've paid $16,000 for training in the past, I just didn't feel like, like Layla and Alex always preach about how product is so important, how like Layla always sits into every single product meeting, Steve Jobs did. And I just don't believe that Layla sat in on this product meeting and said, wow, like, this is the shit.
Yeah.
They're gonna love these generic slides. I just don't believe it.
Yeah.
I can't buy that.
I think it's a thing of they tell you what to do, but they don't tell you how to do it.
But
isn't that it? They go like, okay, this guy needs to focus on YouTube, but I'm going to tell him how to do YouTube. This guy needs to focus on affiliates, but I'm not going to tell him how to do affiliates because I don't even know about his business specifically. Yeah. That person needs to go focus on meta ads, but I'm not going to give him catered ideas for his business for meta ads.
Exactly. And not only that, I'm not even going to teach them properly about these things, because they could have structured. I did that feedback. I was like, if you knew my focus was on affiliates, and so my was affiliate, basically make a better landing page, because I mean, everyone talks to me like, Sheldon, your page looks scammy as hell. Yo, I paid 1.2K for a designer to make a nicer page, and the scammy page that I made, the scammy page won.
Scammy page is better.
Like, I don't want the scammy page to win. I'm like, I have another designer working on it now. After this, I'm like, please kill this scam. I don't want to be known as scammy page back.
Yeah,
but scammy page always wins. So it was that scammy page, and then it was basically like work on my like free guide, and then right away.
I mean, not content for you because you're already doing content, right?
No. But it was like maybe make a better free guide for people, right? And I was like,
that you give out in your content?
Yeah, they give out my content.
I see.
And I was like, did he even look at my free guide? I was like, because I also wanted to ask, I was like, okay, like what he's like, oh, think about the framing for your free guide. So mine's called like the rapid Mandarin fluency guide for Cantonese speakers.
Yeah.
Right? And I wanted to ask, I'm like, hey, like, I know that, Alex has a lot of experience making free guides, especially in fitness, which is a similar niche to language. I was like, any recommendations for names? It's like, just test. I'm like, okay. All right, cool. Like, I'm like, can I see the past results of your tests? You know what I mean? Like, so again, it's like, this is where I thought it was like, or like, at least give me like I don't know, give me an SOP for testing or something like that. It's just like, you could have made my 2 days focused around affiliate conversion optimization,
right,
and how to build a proper lead magnet, and just focus on those. And I think I'd be a lot happier. But you literally spent 5 minutes telling me what it is, didn't tell me anything about that, and then said, okay, cool. I was like, I guess I even said, yeah, I guess that's cool. Like, you don't seem sure. Like, I was like, my.
So based on all those experiences, there were people there who actually said it was very beneficial for them, right? Like, guy who was like, yeah, it was great. My second, third, fourth fam, fifth fam, whatever.
So what I noticed was that the people who were doing better than me said it was helpful. Which I mean, like, the guys who were doing, like, there was guys there who were doing like 30 million, right?
Yeah. And how do they justify the helpfulness? Was it the fact that they were able to keep them focused on just one specific thing?
Yeah.
That's it. So that's kind of what he was talking about before, right?
Yeah. And so it's the whole idea of like, just focus on those on that specific thing. That I think where I felt like, I think paying for focus is very valuable. And again, like, I'll say this, like, I am a constant, like, look at 50 things guy. And so if for the next 3 months, 6 months, I can just focus on these 3 things, 'cause I paid $25,000 to have someone tell me to focus on it, and I get the lift that I want from it, well then it is worth it, because it's not about what you put in, it's about what you get out. Right? And so you might be looking at it and be like, oh, like you put all this money in and you didn't get anything out. But no, like, because what is the opportunity cost otherwise? Maybe I would have been like, oh, I should do ads, I should do like this, or I should do something else. And I would have missed the opportunity cost of being able to lift my business with that. And I would have paid all that money as well.
I see. So it's perhaps they don't tell you how to accomplish the things that you should focus on, but they do tell you that you should just focus on this thing. So therefore, you don't do a million other things that won't benefit you. Yeah, and then just waste your time.
Yeah, where I felt cheated was like, I mean, like I already got down the call. I was like, why did I? Like, it's not like I got to like. I mean, actually, it's not like I got to see Alex and Layla in there. I actually got to see Alex because basically like
the 101 thing.
No, they actually started an hour late, and they were like, oh, like we got the wrong time for start. Yeah. So like, oh, like to apologize, like Alex is gonna do like half an hour Q&A with you guys.
Okay,
but I didn't get to ask a question.
Too many questions.
I put my hand up, and then he was like, "Yeah, you're next." And Alex was like, "All right, that's it," and he just left.
So overall, it's like it seems like you didn't have the most based off initial impressions before you actually apply the advice that they gave you to focus on just those 3 things. Would you say that you had not? Would you say that it was worth it $30,000 just based on your initial impressions?
I have to look at it from a different perspective rather than looking at it from the surface level of like, oh, it's a generic PowerPoint and thing worth $30,000. The question is clarity worth $30,000? And is like the accountability makes sure you do what you need to do worth $30,000 to you? And so it comes down to, I guess it seems stupid. Some people look at me like I'm crazy, but it's like, if I'm able to get my business up as a result of this,
right?
And I don't do the things that I would have done otherwise had I not gone to this, then I think it is worth it. But, do I think it could be better to like make it, like right now I still can't justify it to myself.
Right.
Like right now, I don't think it's worth it, to be honest. But I have a very strong belief that it's not about, because I grew up really cheap. And I think that when you're really cheap and you look at things as service value, you always hold yourself back. Right. But what it comes down to is like, what is the end result that you get? And if the end result you get is that you're able to actually scale your business when you probably would have been stuck for another year had you been doing the wrong steps, then it is good, right? So hard to say.
Yep. Okay, so I guess we just have to wait and see if time will tell,
Yeah.
Yeah. So, I mean, what you got to do. Hopefully you can figure out yourself how to do it, since you didn't get that specifics on how to do what you wanted to do, but you know what you have to do, and to stay focused on that, right?
Yeah. So, yeah. I think like if everyone's debating if they should go, I think what it is if you're like someone who likes to do 50 things at once, and you just can't figure out like what is the thing you gotta tackle to get your biggest lift. But then again, I mean, like, to be honest,
if you tackle 50 things at once, it might be worth it.
Yeah. Like if you're someone who tackles 50 things at once, it might be worth to get that clarity. But just know, like, you have to go and know that that's what you're paying for.
Yeah.
And you're not paying for like them to really help you with even like any real strategy behind it. It's like, like really generic. So if you right now you go in and you're like, I already know what I need to focus on, and I want strategies on how to do that better, it's not for you. If you just like, I don't know what I should focus on to give me the biggest lift, then yeah, it could be helpful.
Yeah. So if you were to rate it from a scale of 1 to 10, how worth it was Alex Hormozi's $30,000 conference? What would you say?
I think I would give it a 3. A 3.
3.
And the reason why is because the people there who like looked through my business and gave me like that feedback. I mean, like the guy who did it, he told me, he's like, I actually just joined 3 months ago. I sold my agency, and then they got me. And so I'm like, okay, like if some guy who just sold his agency 3 months ago, I'm like, I have a lot of entrepreneur friends. I think I could pay them like, I can pay them like $6,000, $10,000. I mean, someone there to be like, hey, can you look through my business? Like, look through my number and I'll give it to you. And like, if you're down, like, would you be willing to like, give me like what do you think of that?
Yeah. It'll be a
that?
bit more catered stuff.
Yeah, exactly. And so, yeah, so I think that just like, I hate putting price in because I think it's what you get out of it. That is the most important thing.
Mm-hmm.
But just like from what they gave me, I just feel like that money could have gone into another thing that would have gave me a lot of lift too. Especially because like the truth is the Skype call with the guy was already pretty much told me exactly what the conference had. So
Right.
I could have like I'm not saying I could have, but I'm saying like had a Skype call with I think I'm millennial. That's Skype. I could have had a Zoom call.
Those guys don't want a business, right?
I know.
It's like they're closing down.
Yeah, like I was showing my UNC status, right?
Yeah.
I could have had a Zoom call with someone who like had an exit as well. I have a lot of friends who do that. And I probably would have gotten probably some advice. They'd be like, Sheldon, hey, like you've done this. Like, why don't you do more of this? Do less of the things that I do less. But I mean, hindsight's 50-50, right?
Yeah.
Hindsight's 2020.
Yeah.
Again, you take what you guys want from this conference. Like, I learned it, so you don't have to. But I'm sharing exactly what happened. I'm not saying I'm still unsure if it's worth it or not for me because I think at the end of the day, it's what I get out of it. But take it for what it's worth.
Yeah, we'll have to see further down the line. Let's say 3 to 6 months. If you get the results you want, then we're gonna redo this video and everything's gonna be like, yo, that was the most worth it program we've ever been to.
Exactly.
So we'll see how it goes. But there you have it, $30,000 worth of business advice from Alex Hormozi's conference. Share it to you for free so you guys don't have to, unless you want to, So we'll see how it goes. Good luck on making your content, guys, building your personal brand, and growing your business. See you next time.